Hey everybody, welcome back to 3-Day Weekend. I'm your host Chris and I'm here with Provolone. This is my 2020 Polaris RZR PRO XP. I was just doing its 200-hour service and I found a very major issue with the drive shaft, prop shaft. Something big is happening, lots of play. I don't know what's going on. It's a miracle the thing even moves. So I'm going to tear into that and see what's going on and hopefully get it fixed right up. Here's what I'm talking about. You can see the drive shaft is right here. That's loose and resting on the frame. I can even see in here, there's a little hoop. Must be to keep it under control. You see that? And it's been rubbing on it. It's got a pretty deep rub into it right there. So it's been loose for a little while. I remember driving it at Potter County. And we had just set off and it picked up a nasty vibration. It lasted 30 feet or something, just and then it was done. And it went away. My guess is that's the moment that something let loose. So I gotta drop the skid plate and see what's going on. With the skid plate out of the way, here's what I'm left with. This appears to be the innards of my carrier bearing. So I've just got the bearing beating itself up against the outer cage, I guess. Oh, geez. So the drive shaft has to come out. Oh, wait, does it? Oh, that's mounted on this bar, which has bolts on it. I might be able to pull this down. That would be awesome. Yeah, see, it's been scraping up here on this cage.
That's heavy.
Yeah, good times, good times. Did not expect to find that today. Driver's seat, there it is. One Torx screw. Take that out first, then drop that whole bar. That was the right one. That little screw's gone, so I'm gonna pop out these 4 and see what that does for me. Next up is a roll pin, and this is gonna be a pain to reach. It's right there. You gotta mark it and punch it out. I'm gonna take the wheels off to get a little extra space, but I might have to take other things off to get a little closer to that. The other side really doesn't look much cleaner, maybe a little bit because the rack is more on this side. So I'll probably go in from the passenger side. I'm trying, but I just can't get enough swing to get that roll pin out of there. You just need to remove the roll pin from the front and then you'll be able to slide it back and forth and get it out without disturbing the rear half of the prop shaft. So that's what we're working on. But see, this is all in the way, so we're gonna pop out the lower shock mounts and then hopefully swing the whole suspension up, and I'm hoping that'll give me the space we need. It is now the next day and no progress has been made on that roll pin. I gave up last night, sprayed it in PB Blaster, and a friend of mine dropped off this much larger punch. So now I'm trying with this to see if I can get it to budge, because it didn't want any part of that last night. Let's see what happens. Whew. We got it. Holy cow. I've been reading people are replacing these with grade 8 bolts, so you have to deal with that again. I might do that. That was a pain in the neck. I don't like that at all. So, probably won't be putting that back in. But now, the drive shaft should just come right out. Took a little bit of finessing, but I got it out of there. Right, bud? Yeah. Now I gotta throw it in the press and try to press this bearing off of there. At this step, it's all ready to go. If I were gonna put OEM back on, I'd press it right on there and stick it back in the machine. But OEM is back ordered 2 months right now. And let's face it, they're garbage because it failed already. So I've got something a little special coming. We're about a week later and the parts are in. I got my Sandcraft center carrier bearing. Pretty cool. Some brackets, some hardware, and the optional grease whip so you can get to it without taking it apart. First step is this little brass looking spacer thing. There's a little groove in it and the groove goes toward the shaft, so we drop that on like that. Push that down into place. And then we get to put this on, and the side with the snap ring goes toward the back of the machine. So it's going to go like that. And then you get a piece of pipe that'll fit on there and tap it into place. But before you do any of that, you take your green stuff and we're going to put that all right here so it doesn't go anywhere. They said use a pipe. I didn't have a pipe, but I had this thing that fit in there perfectly and some old bearings. And we got it. You notice there's a puddle on the ground. And it's dripping out of the input bearing seal. It wasn't leaking before I started working on it. It is now, and I figure it's because I had to beat on it so hard to get this out. I'm hoping it'll settle back down and stop leaking, so I'll clean it all up when I'm done. Take it for a test drive or two, see if it stops. If it doesn't stop, I'll pull that and replace the seal. Yay. But now we've got the shaft, and we're going to attempt to put it back in. Now this shaft has a master spline on it. So there's a spot right there where you can't use that spline. And it lines up with a gap on the inside of that, which is lined up with this line on the outside. So when you're putting it together, you have to mark or line that one up with that one. The other thing we're working on is this hoop back here has to come out, but you can't really get to it. So the first one we got out with a socket, but the other one we're going to try to cheat it with Allen wrench without stripping it off. We got it out. Alright, there it is. Had to invent a tool to get that bolt out. And here it is. A 1/4 inch socket wrench with a T40 little driver thing. That was enough to get it loose so I could get the big one on and turn it. So now we're back to trying to custom fit this in here. Did you get it in there yet? No. We got it. Just a matter of playing around with it to get the right angle. And it slipped right in. You could also avoid all of this hassle by just disconnecting it at the rear yoke, but we didn't do it that way. Now we are lining it up here, and it comes with a bolt to replace the roll spring, so you don't have to use that guy anymore. You can just put a bolt right through it. That'll be fun for later. I'm gonna hold this flashlight for Jerry. Put the bolt through with some persuasion with a hammer. Now we're putting blue thread lock on it.
Trying.
Oh, and we had to put a punch because it did not. That's plenty. It's dripping. And we had to use a punch to get the shoulder to go through there. Now he's putting the
lock washer.
Lock nut on there.
Okay.
The nye locker. Did it thread?
Yeah. Nice.
I was worried the threads would be messed up. That sucker is tight. We got our brackets here. Top, bottom. Bottom faces forward, obviously, and then you line the top up. But we gotta get the sole carriage housing off of there. With a couple of bolts right there. I forgot to mention, if you have the custom grease whip thing, now is the time you gotta take off your grease fitting and put this in. The last thing is to install a little hoop shield thing, which they said to modify to make it fit, but it looks like it's gonna fit. I'll throw some bolts in there. We should be good. And we grease the carrier bearing and the drive shaft, and that's it. It's ready to go. Well, yeah, we gotta put a skid plate on. And I probably will need to tear apart my front diff and replace the seal, because I'm pretty sure it's still dripping. But I'm just gonna do a couple test hits and see if it stops. I'm hoping the seal settles down. Sometimes you get lucky, but probably not. That's gonna do it for today. Thank you to Jerry for helping me out putting this thing back together. And thank you everyone for watching. We really appreciate every viewer and every subscriber. And we'll see you again for another video right here on 3 Day Weekend.